So this is very exciting. Very exciting. You know why it's exciting? Because we've been visualising something like this for too long.
For a while.
But it leads into what we're going to be talking about, is patience. But, you know, I bought these mics 4 years ago. These Procaster mics. I didn't have a studio to set them up in.
Nope.
I bought two.
Why?
We don't know. A good bit of money for them, of course. But they literally just sat underneath my DJ desk for 2 years without touching them. And I was like, I'm going to use them one day.
Yes.
We'll use them one day. And then when we got the studio, we started using them a wee bit. But the real vision for using these style of mics was to get them, of course, set up on a nice big table, get it set up like a kind of breakfast show, radio, podcast. Joe Rogan, we're huge fans, always have been. Anyone who's fans of the two of us, or indeed SKapade, will know for sure that our background is radio. Our background is loving music,
media,
of all types of genres. Listening to everything has always been the case for us. So now, actually, that we're sitting here, March 2018, we've got the Procaster set up. We've got a mixer here.
It's a good feeling.
We've got an Italian running the show with an insane amount of expertise. I've got to honestly say so. The expertise in Eugenio
Dobla
is insane. What a legend. What's your Instagram?
Just Dobla.
Dobla_E. E.
Maybe we can put this in the post edit.
We can put this in, right?
Put this in the post edit.
Great, honestly, huge shout to Eugenio. Massive extended shout to Craig Hughes, who's sitting here on the team.
Craig Hughes DJ.
This would not be happening if it wasn't for the team here. We've also got Jack over there, who's eating his panini, as he always does around about this time.
He's regulating everything from the corner.
He's regulating everything. He's got the iPhone headphones on, making sure this is running smoothly. But to be honest, I'm feeling good. We've not really planned much of this, but I think that's great because, you know, we just like talking. Nah. We like bouncing off each other. Yes. We like, you know, showcasing what's great about the industry that we work in, of course.
Yes.
And at the same time, we love trying to give a bit of value to you guys, seeing where we can help. We work with clients from all over the world, so it does put us in a great position to offer advice that's helped us along the way, and on things like getting signed to music labels, like the top techno and trance labels in the scene, things like that. It is our bread and butter.
Yes, I'm just genuinely buzzing because, as Stephen said, this sort of format we've been talking about for a while. If you've seen some of our other episodes, we always try to put out new content. We're always trying to do something a little bit different, and the whole headphones and stands and things, we've done it a couple of times, but now it's going to be more regular. I don't know if any of you guys watched a very early version of Gala in the Show where we did the Mayweather-McGregor fight. Again, massive shouts to Craig, and that was great fun. So we're big fans of the format, and I was also thinking, when you're talking about you've bought these microphones years ago, essentially what you've done is you've taken a paracetamol before you get a headache. That's what you've done there with that, because we put them.
That's interesting.
We put them to the side for years, knowing
I wouldn't recommend that.
I wouldn't recommend that.
I might get.
Definitely don't do that, right? But I've heard people doing things like that.
Sort of get where you're going.
That's
right?
what I'm trying to get to. Is that's what you've done?
Just like yourself, very peculiar way of putting things.
I'm a freak,
but that kind of. I get you.
Yes, and I love the table. This table has also been in the making for a while.
It might sound daft.
It does, but listen, that's the thing. See, when you're building a business or you're building a music career or anything like that, it's small steps that lead to big changes. And like even the movable DJ desk, before we had a built-in sort of booth, which was great. Massive shouts to John Lang, who helped with the build right back at the start of the business when we had our first booth. Now we've got a movable one, which allows us to obviously move it and do stuff like this. So it's pretty cool. We're buzzing, and we're just happy people enjoy the content. Well, they seem to be anyway. So we're going to try and keep up. We've got our SKapade hoodies on as well.
Matching.
I think these ones particularly are out of stock, but we do have some other stuff. So if you go on the website, go and check it out. www.skapadestudios.com. Go there, click on a few things. Give us some feedback as well. The site's freshly launched this year. It's looking great. Had good feedback so far, but if you've got any other feedback or you want us to cover any topics in Gal and Woo on episodes going forward, please do.
Absolutely. There's been a few videos I've done recently where people have recommended that we talk about things.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember what those things are. Can maybe call them up and see if there's anything there, just to make sure we cover it on this episode. That'd be good.
That's a jack job.
Because there's probably people out there that have asked us things, and if we can get them into us just now, we'd quite gladly chat over them. So what were we saying there? Patience, was it?
Patience is a good one.
Patience is a good one, and I think it comes from having one or two people with a grand vision. Because at the end of the day, right, you need the vision to be mapped out, whether you're a DJ or whether you're an artist. So you need to see yourself sort of as podcasters or as a DJ playing already before it's actually
before it's
went down. So for me, in my bedroom in my mum's house with a bed sheet, you know,
a dog kicking
about, not an issue with that, great dog, but a bed sheet like covering over my mirrored wardrobes, absolute makeshift setup. You know, it just goes to show it's not what you produce on or whatever or where you do it that matters. You know, it's what you're visualising and making of it.
Yes.
So, you know, back then everything was very simple. I had no place to set up a podcasting studio or anything like that.
No, but you had the ideas in mind, and it goes back to what we were talking about at the start. 4 years ago, the microphones were bought. Way before you could even really afford them, but you bought them, you sunk the money in. I remember when you got it.
And I actually said to you that they'll be used at some point.
We will be using these, by the way. Shout out to Procasters, because these things are dynamite.
I mean, they just sound so crystal clear. I've never heard my voice so crystal.
So clear.
So there's a little lesson in that. We're not just droning on.
But that's...
There's a proper lesson in, you know, if you feel something that you're destined to do, you know, don't let go of that thought, I guess. Because one day you'll be sitting here and you're like, you know, because I didn't have any money to do it.
No.
I didn't have any money to get a Yamaha mixer, 2 Procasters,
we spoke about
all
these.
the setup, all the, you know, the webcams, the laptops, the this, the that. Things take time. You need to apply patience.
Yep.
You know, and we do live in an environment or a society where everything is needed now.
This is the problem.
Right. No,
but this is the problem. I mean, what we're talking about when we're talking about actual patience is you have to be patient in terms of willing to grow things, right? You don't just plant a flower and then it blossoms. It takes a while before it actually comes into the world, and it's exact same as your music career or business or anything that you do.
Analogy. Yep.
You know, I'm coming up with them today, man. I'm coming up with them today.
That's nice.
But it's like you literally have to work tremendously hard. To be honest, the outcome of what I think people usually set on their life journey when you're young or whatever, some people, not everyone, but some people do have a sort of clear thought as to where they want to go in their life. You know, for us it was media of some sorts, music, film, TV, something connected to this beautiful, crazy, volatile industry, right? But it is literally about starting it slow, small steps, because you might set off to be, for example, a comedian or a TV presenter or something like that, and you end up being like a DJ, or you end up doing something a wee bit different that you never expected to actually have that outcome. You know, and I think what you're talking about nowadays, especially with social media, by the way, one thing that we have spoke about recently is I think you should be at least 18 till you're on social media, because of the amount of crazy content you've got access to, right? It's warping the minds of young people.
That's why anxiety is one of these buzzwords now, you know.
All-time high.
It's pretty much everyone's aware of anxiety, depression. It's fed through the schools, it's into curriculums, it's everywhere, because there is a real issue with early exposure, as you're saying.
Well, there is, and patience definitely goes into that, because we went to the gym last night, right? And one thing I noticed, there was like loads of like 12 and 13-year-old kids in the gym.
Doing anything?
Is this, well, they were doing stuff, but I'm like, is this normal? Is, you know,
that's a good thing.
It's great in terms of going in and exercising, right? It's absolutely great, but you're not meant to touch weights till you're after 16, right? because your body's still developing, right? So you're seeing some wee young guys in there like lifting weights, really straining and looking about 13, 14, you know, thin as a pencil. I get he's trying to thicken out, he's only a wee guy, right? But it's also kind of like, is this because of your Instagrams and your social medias and all these models that you're seeing? They've got these perfect bodies, and already at 12, 13, they think they're inadequate and they think they need to look like Summer Rae, for example, who's that massive Instagrammer. You know, it's just, it's kind of scary. But basically, how patience leads into that is that when you're looking at these things, that means like, oh, look at the lifestyle they're living. I need that now. And we work with young people all the time, and we ask them, you know, what do you want to do? I want to be a YouTuber. You know, well, how many videos do you upload? Like none. So, you know, there's not the work ethic there to back it up, but there's impatience because they all want to make it, it's whatever like make it genuinely means.
The thought of them working like in a chippy before they get to pursue their dream is alien.
Well, that's it.
They're like, no way you'll catch me dead working in a chippy.
Or a supermarket or anything.
You're going to learn how to deal with customers. You're going to learn how to look at somebody in the face as opposed to staring at your screen all the time.
You'll learn about business.
Transferable skills, but they're not having it. They're not wearing it because it's not that ideal Beverly Hills mansion job that it's just going to slam itself in the doorstep. Do you know what I mean?
But the problem is, again, because of social media, it does give us access to content to guys out there like who have been overnight successes. Right, and overnight successes is usually 5-10 years in the making, right? But you think it's overnight, and it's usually these people have been grinding in the background for a long, long time.
Yes.
But there is access to these stories or these guys that create these multi-billion-dollar apps. So like a lot of these young people think like, oh, I'm just going to create an app and sell it on and make myself a lot of money. It doesn't really work like that. It doesn't work like that, and that's when patience comes into it. Like, look, if you're thinking about genuinely starting a business, or you really want to become a DJ, and your dream is you've been to a festival there recently, and you're like, I'm going to be on that stage one day. Listen, you are going to be on that stage one day. I've no doubt. You've got to be backing it up with the work ethic behind it. You've got to be patient to realise it doesn't happen overnight. You've got to have solid music behind you. You've got to have a good network. You've got to have a following. There's so many factors now, which drips very nicely into how the changes in social media in terms of algorithms and things that we've been reading up on recently are changing tremendously. So it's actually getting even more difficult now.
Yeah, you're noticing that your small, medium-sized businesses, the ones that are on a budget, they're getting forced to firstly pay for people who have already liked their page for them to see their see the content from the page, which straight away seems extremely unbalanced and unfair.
So unfair.
So I get that that's their revenue stream, Facebook. I get it, right? But how much money do you need? It's like slowly but surely you're going to lose everyone because it's so one-sided. As opposed to, of course, charge for content. Great, it's a great service, but again, it's human nature. It's greed, and greed happens at the top to the bottom. You always want more, and you get into that zone where we can just skim a wee bit more off. Oh, that CEO needs a wee bit more of a bonus, or the team over there needs a wee bit more. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to the people who are actually paying the overall wages, like a business like SKapade. We're putting out a post which is highly engaging content, but it's physically not being shown to people who already like the page.
Well, they're a perfect example. We are just about 10 likes away from 8,000 likes on our Facebook page, which is massive, which is really, really big for us.
Hit us up.
And we're putting out some posts at times that are just not really reaching anyone because of how Facebook is. Yet, you know, in the past we put stuff out there and we're reaching hundreds of thousands of people. Now, we still are, but it's just becoming increasingly more difficult.
You're noticing it getting like getting strangled tighter and tighter. It's still, you know, sometimes we put something out and it goes wild and you're like, you know, it can still happen.
Yes.
But you're noticing as a generalised sense, things are just getting slowly turned tighter and tighter. So is there another social network that's going to come in? Right now, you don't see what's going to rival it, to be honest.
Until it comes along. But what is a way round it then? We've got to figure out a way of using it because Facebook still is the dominant platform throughout the world. There's like nearly 2 billion users. so everyone's using it. They're making an absolute killing.
Yep.
It's going to get to the point, as you're talking about, if it is getting strangled,
Yep.
we're going to get to a point where people are going to revolt and say, well, we want to use another platform, but what is that platform?
But the thing is what they've done is, I remember when there was a time. I remember back when Facebook first
You like the
started.
PlayStation?
I like it. I was about to hit with the next one. Rapper music. I like the rapper music. Where was I? There was a time where, not too long ago, maybe about 4 years ago, when I first started my music page, quickly amassed, 1,000, 2,000 people on it. 'Cause I was gigging, and you actually pick up followers and you start releasing tracks and stuff like that. And I'd post something, and buying ads and stuff didn't exist at the time.
No.
So I'd literally post something up, and it would go to 2,000 people.
It would go wild.
It would go to them, And I found this very interesting, where on my page just now, my Stephen Kirkwood page, at the moment, if I
There's 20,000 likes
if I put
now.
something on that, right, and the reach is obviously limited and whatever, and it does all right, but there's an option in it to boost to people who like your page. So
What do you mean?
so
Obviously.
I was like, of course. Well, why did they like the page in the first place? So I basically put on it £5 on a post. I think it was a £5, wasn't it? £5. Put a £5 on the post. Selected just as a test people who like my page only, not and their friends, just that. Put a £5 on it, and within 2 days, plus 900 likes. So that, from people that actually liked the page.
Jesus Christ.
In the UK, United States, and that's 900 extra on top of what would normally be there.
What is the point of accumulating 20,000 fans if you can't reach
So
them?
it's like, I get it's just a £5, fair enough. But it shows you, though, for anyone who's maybe struggling with their Facebook page, again, look, there is wee tips in this, what we're chatting about. This is what we're trying to get at.
Yeah.
For those out there, because everyone does have a music page. Most people who are watching this, the demographic, you'll have a music page. You'll have a business page, and you're maybe like hitting your head off the wall. Look, I've got 500 people here, and I'm not getting anywhere. This is why. This is what's happening. So you need to get kind of clever with it. But the overall chat of what we're saying here is like Facebook are kind of almost tightening it so much that everyone's just going to get pissed off.
Well, I mean, one of the things that came out there recently, was it not that the algorithm, the way they're trying to change it, is they're actually trying to get rid of more business type stuff, which obviously our page is a business page, right? Mm-hmm. But you're seeing more stuff from friends and family, which kind of does seem to be happening. That I'm starting to see the odd more post that, obviously because of the work we do and whatever, our timelines are really clogged up with a lot of DJing stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'm starting to see kind of more stuff that I wasn't seeing before. I don't know, or is it just over years, your cookies, and it's like it's done certain things in terms of what you've been searching, what you've been liking, and it's so tailored now.
You know yourself, you leave a paper trail wherever you go on the internet. Advert and companies follow you around.
Crazy,
you
man. You
notice that? Like, you're followed. You're, even when you're discussing something.
Scary, man.
What was it?
I've got a good one about that.
Somebody was discussing something. I think it might have been, I'm not sure. It was a female I was talking to anyway. And they were talking about these, like the lip suction things.
Yes.
Make your lips bigger.
Uh-huh.
And it was a specific company, though, that does that.
Lipsucker.com.
That's them. No, it's not. But, so and then literally scrolling through Facebook, so she was, and then boom, ad for the exact thing. And that's so specific, just from talking about it.
See, the scariest...
You're going to get shut down.
I know, the scariest one I've seen was when we had a client come over from Amsterdam. He's a nice guy, and he was telling me about compensation that you can get, right? So see if your flight is more than an hour or two delayed, you're owed compensation of some sort, right? And what he was saying was, don't settle on the first offer, because they'll usually try and give you like gift vouchers for Frankie and Benny's at the airport or something. Once you accept, you no longer can do it, even if your flight was to be cancelled 12 hours, right? So you can get money. Now, I'd never heard of that, but it makes sense. Then, lo and behold, I was going through Instagram and an advert popped up. Do you want compensation for a delayed flight? And I'm like, that, right, hold on. That has clearly been listening to what we've been talking about. Now, the way I was trying to pair it together was, because me and him have now connected through social media, and the weeks leading up to him coming over to Scotland, we were talking very frequently. So maybe it's recognised that we've connected profiles, but I mean, the fact that it targeted an ad when I'd never heard about that my whole life, to then go a couple of scrolls down, there it was. So they are listening, and it is tailored round you, which, to be honest, is a good and a bad thing, isn't it?
I mean, it is, of course. It's, for a consumer's point of view, it's a better experience because you're cutting out all the gumph you need to go through to get what you want. And I get it, and I guess it's in the small print that everyone signs up to. When you sign up to a Facebook or a Google, you're like straight to
accept,
agree. You know what I mean?
Like
I agree.
400-page document.
I agree.
Ain't nobody got time for that. No, I mean, nobody's reading that, mate. Like, aye, I'll press aye. You've just wavered away all your rights for the government to chip you.
That's fine. I want in now.
Again, comes down to patience. Nobody's got patience to sit and read that. And to be honest,
but the thing,
it's written in such a way.
But it's written in lawyer speak. And there's one thing saying patience. But if you actually read word for word that whole document, man, there'd be nobody on Facebook. Apart from Zook.
Aye, Zuckerberg. I mean, did you ever see
Jack?
And Jack.
He'd read it.
He'd read it. Can you remember that picture? Are we able to do this? I'm going to put you in a spot here. Were you able to fling up a picture? There was a picture of Mark Zuckerberg when he was in an office and he had like a military style
encryption thing.
So it was software that he was using. He also had like a cover over his camera. Now, if that's someone like Mark Zuckerberg doing that, you know, these guys know things.
I mean, if I see anyone who's that powerful, they're let into things, aren't they? Surely, about just what's going on.
Well, there was that thing recently about the guy that helped build Facebook who came out and said that they knew about some of the effects that social media was going to have on society. Because as we were talking about earlier, you know, with young people now, it is quite scary in terms of the information that they've got access to. Never before have we been in this position in the history of mankind where we have such access to information.
It's like the best time and the worst time. It's like you've got access to do anything you want. I mean, I learned how to make authentic Napolitan pizza in a day. And it tasted unreal, right? Unreal, because I watched basically the top 6 chefs that make those style of pizzas. I like blasted all the videos on YouTube, learnt the skill, put it to practice. That's like years of.
I know.
It used to be maybe working with a mentor and blah. But whereas I'm straight in, right, new knowledge, boom, you've got it. But again, with that great knowledge comes great responsibility.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's great for learning skills, of course. But when you're exposed to everything, you know, no wonder your brain winds you up. Because our type of brain, like, you know, it's not. I mean, we've only had this for 20 years, the internet, I'd say. You know, we've had maybe 4 million years of evolution with none of this. Simple dinner, hunting, sleep. And then now, all of a sudden, we're like, you know, we're in this mode where we've got absolutely everything at our disposal. Right, what's happened to you?
Right? You get your YouTube up, and we can see this. I think he's just put this up.
Okay.
What a legend Craig is, man. Remember, this is a new format, so bear with us, troops. But there should be the image of Zuckerberg with the thing. Is that what you're?
I don't know what the delay is. But we can see.
Yes, we can see it's going to take a little bit long. But that's pretty cool again. So just showing you, like, there's someone at the top of Facebook who is using certain ways to keep himself hidden and things like that, where we all blatantly just press agree on our Google agreements and Facebook agreements. We don't really understand what rights we're potentially wavering away. I guess it's kind of the same with music, isn't it? Like, if you don't really understand what a label's maybe saying to you, you know, if a label's sending through a contract, I mean, this is probably a good one. Like, you know, what advice because you were once a young pup just getting in the game, you know, the difference of the very first contract you were sent through from a label to now is a big difference, right? Because you've learnt more about the industry over the last 10 years. But what do you do as a wee guy who's signing his first track? What sort of stuff should they be looking out for? Put you on the spot.
Contracts in general have really shrunk in size. Because it's like big lengthy book, like a contract. It's like a book. You know, you'd expect that before the internet, I guess. You know, when we chat to Mallorca Lee and stuff about like public domain, he tells us like when they had to go and sign the contracts, it took like a full day to go down and go through it all with, you know, lawyers and all of that. So it's like whatever it is they put into those contracts, everything's more transparent now. And see, to be honest, if you're getting a contract for a track through and it's on more than 2 pages, there's maybe some stuff in there you need to get checked out, for sure. But main things, you're just making sure your publishing's covered, making sure all the titles of the tracks and the label copy information's right, making sure that the splits are correct in terms of the label isn't saying, we're taking 95% of all royalties and all publishing, and you'll be getting 5%.
That seems fair.
If and when we decide. It's simple stuff. You read through it, and the great thing is about the internet and things now, everything has become a bit more simplified, a bit more transparent. People aren't getting away with things the way they used to get away with things. In terms of maybe getting an artist and sneakily going, we'll get him in for 15 years because he's going to blow up in 5. Make sure we keep him. Yeah. That kind of stuff. It maybe happens, but it doesn't happen as much. So just keep your wits about you, I guess, with contracts, and always speak to someone who's maybe a lawyer of any kind.
Yes.
Someone who has a bit of experience. It doesn't need to be a music lawyer that you go and pay £2,000-3,000 for an opinion, but maybe just someone who understands that sort of type of language.
Maybe even a student doing law and stuff like that. You could ask, for
like Craigie here.
Like Craig here, who in his spare time is just doing a degree, same as Jack. Not much spare time there. But the guys are doing that, so that's probably a right good.
Hopefully that answers your question, big gal.
It does.
What else are we talking about then? So highs and lows of being a creative, having a creative brain, being in the entertainment industry is quite a big one to discuss, I think. Because with those extreme highs, on the stage, performing to 10, 25,000 people. You get those nights alone in the hotel room where you're questioning everything, about to throw the towel in, you've not got your friends, your family around, and it's something to be aware of as well, and it's the style of brain that it takes to be a proper creative brain can be to your detriment as well at times.
Absolutely.
Because you can wind yourself up in a way that only you understand it, and beating yourself up, it's not good enough, or comparing yourself to other people. There's real risks out there when you choose to embark on a career in this industry, I'd say.
It's certainly something that, it is an industry that doesn't really switch off at all, especially music. Britain, and I say Britain, like in Scotland, it's probably one of the only places where nights end at 3 a.m. Everywhere else, it gets pushed on
2 in the morning. Actually.
2 and 3. 2 and is it not? Is 3 nowhere? Is it a 2?
There'll be clubs city centre.
Yeah. But it's 3 is max, right? 3 in the morning's max. But as you go down to London, you're 6, or you go to abroad, it's just 24/7, things like that. But I think that's very much quite like the industry. It doesn't shut off. And there's times for us, especially what we do, we're always thinking about the next new thing, or pushing forward, or coming up with new ideas, and that you just can't rest. It becomes one of these things. It consumes your life, but it also becomes your life when you enjoy it. It doesn't feel the same. So we would be if we had 100 million in the bank or a tenner, we would be still doing similar things.
I think that's important. It's an important question to ask yourself. Would you be doing what you're doing if you had 100 million in the bank?
I'd rather have 100 million than a tenner.
I know. I think maybe you might be able to do a couple of more different things, but it's a good, real kind of awakening question, because you're actually, I wouldn't be doing this. So it's a no nonsense question. It cuts out all the bullshit, and you're just straight down the line.
What would you do?
That's it.
So a big thing what we drew earlier, is stop complaining as well. Most of the people out there that especially are trying to get into the creative industries, if you are actively working on music, if you're actively doing gigs, if you're actively writing comedy, no matter what it is, see if you're actively doing something, pursuing something that you enjoy, but you have to balance that with another job, real life job, you've got family to look after, things like that. Look, they're good problems to have because you're actively trying. I think the issue is if you're not trying, but you're constantly complaining, that's not a good situation to be in, right? Because it's actively down to you that has to actually make something happen, right? So stop complaining. get off your ass and just keep pushing. And again, back to the start, be patient, because it's not all going to come at once, but be okay with that. Be okay with that. Be okay with the journey that you're going to endeavour on.
That's it, and sometimes even, some clients that come in, and this is what we're tend to be good at the studio, is like giving you another aspect of your pursuit of a DJ career or production career or a producer career, sound engineering, whatever it may be. There's so much more to it, It's like you've got to be okay with failing, of course.
You're not going to learn.
You've got to be okay with some of those days that you just feel terrible.
Well, that's it.
It's like, it's actually okay. And see, to be honest, I've noticed this in a lot of the positive thinking books as well. They carry this message that you should be 100% positive. It's all down to mindset, and if you're not, then you're doing something wrong. But as human, when you feel bad, that's how you grow. Do you not think?
Well, absolutely.
It's the adversity and the down days that get you thinking.
Well, that's it. I mean,
that can only be a positive overall, rather than being
100% bulletproof.
Some of the you see some of the stuff online these days. The positive thinking guys and all that. Great, absolutely believe in it myself wholeheartedly. But there's a lot to be said for being okay with actually
having down
things
moments
being really bad at times, because that's how you learn. I
think ultimately, if you can stay more positive than negative, then you're doing the right thing. Absolutely, no one's bulletproof. You can't do it. I think what I do agree with in the books and stuff is that, like, everything is mindset, no matter what does happen to you, right? But being humans, we are emotional creatures that do react off emotions, and it's the people that become self-aware no matter what happens and can detach themselves from those emotions are usually the pure ruthless business guys, the guys that end up doing well, end up usually lonely or whatever, because sometimes you need to act off your emotions because we are emotional creatures, right? But I think no matter what's happened to you, no matter how bad, I mean, we know some people have had some horrific upbringings or horrific stories, people from all over the world, but they're some of the happiest people we know.
And they've went to achieve the most things.
Yes, because they
felt
know,
the low.
They know the work ethic, whereas nowadays, you've got kids coming out the womb screaming for the Wi-Fi, man. And it's like, and I mean, it's not only that, it's like when they're streaming something, right? It's so weird that word streaming now is just a normal accepted word, streaming, right? But when kids are streaming something now, see if the wee buffering logo comes up. A wee buffering logo comes up.
They're off it.
They don't like it anymore. And actually, I was talking to a parent the other day there, and they were like, look, see, when their internet went down for 2 days in their house, and they've got a 7-year-old, and they're like, he was driving us insane because there was no internet.
Scary.
And it's like, what are you talking about? It's snowing. Go out and play in the snow. And it's like, well, he's trying to, but none of his pals want to. They're all on the Xbox. And it's scary. Like, that is mental, man. You used to go out, at least cause a bit of havoc with a bit of snow. Maybe get yourself in trouble. Learn a wee life lesson. Do you know what I mean?
Is that just getting, obviously I was just getting a wee bit older.
I play the PlayStation.
Back when we were young, we used to go and make wee boats and used to kick the bob out. Is it just because you've got nothing to do, lads?
I know, it's very still game, but do you know what? I guess...
there's a lot of truth in what you're saying, for sure. It's a scary time, but is it to be embraced? If you stop your child having an iPad or an iPhone, do they get left behind the wave of technology that's coming in their class? Are some of them going to grow up to be the next, entrepreneurial app creating geniuses, and you're stopping them because you want them to be old school making boats?
I know. I mean, at the same time though, it's like, how do they start interacting? Because I mean, like, you go into a Subway now, man, it's some 18-year-old serving you, man, and they're looking at the counter the whole time, man.
Happened to me the other day.
And it did with me, and I was trying to make a joke with that girl. Where was that place we were in? And I was trying to have a bit of a laugh, this and that, and it was just like completely over her head, like, stop talking to me. I'm just here to serve you. You know what I mean? It's like, no, man, like, you're a human, man. Let's get a wee bit of chat. You all right? How's your day, man?
For sure. I feel this all the time. I went into was it last weekend, a fish and chip shop, right? And just getting, at the weekend you can, smash out, pig out,
you can do things like
pizza and all that. There's a young guy behind the counter, face tripping him, right? Head in, salt and pepper and things. And he's a guy, he's a front of house, he's there. So I'm walking in, I'm like, how you doing? Blank. I'm like, right, okay, this is interesting. Started, so he's like that, so you get your fish and all that, your pizzas, and he's like, salt and vinegar. So he's just like, salt and vinegar. quite aggressive. I'm like that, just salt. He's like, what? I'm like, just salt. And he's like, bag.
No words.
He's like, bag, and I'm like, sorry. He's like, bag.
Why are you saying a random word, mate?
It's just like, bag. And I'm like, this is not happening. Like, not even a.
Would you like a bag?
At the end of the day, I'm paying his wages because I'm a customer, right?
Yeah.
And even when I handed over the tenner to pay for it or whatever like that, not a thank you, not an enjoy your meal, not a single thing, man. And that is like, how can somebody be in
front of house
customer service and that's happening?
But like, is that down to, first off, inexperience, right? Because they're young, so you can allow for that. Although, in saying that, I was working the cafe when I was 14, 15, and being me, I was always saying thank you and please and getting a bit of banter, right? But is it down to them hating their job, that they don't like it? Because do you know what's really funny?
I shouldn't be here. I should be.
See what you just told me there? My experience was also in a chippy. How weird's that? And obviously my mum owned chippies for years and stuff, so like,
Speaking of which, there's your mum, right?
Straight away, how weird's that? Straight away, when you're talking about that, we're noticing things like that because my mum used to have a cafe and a chippy and stuff, so I'm always looking at customer service. I'm the head of the customer service here at SKapade as well, so it's a big part of my life.
Like, so important. And this, look, we're digressing, but at the same time, if you want anything in life, whether it's a label to listen to your music, whether it's for you to get into events or whatever, it's been courteous, it's been nice.
It will take you far.
Thank you,
It will take you far.
And we did mention this, we brushed on this last time. A lot of people, it's like, want, listen to me. It's like, what value's in that, man, And,
no, there's none.
And it's like, it goes down to the simple things when you're out and you're getting something to eat the weekend or whatever, and you're just blown away by how bad it is out there when it comes to like just front on service. It just goes a long way.
But as you're talking about the transparency of that, because now, even though we are talking about algorithms changing that, you have that platform to now do a podcast like this, put a video out there, complain about something. I seen a video the other day there, and it was a guy, and he was in America, right? And it was in some part in New York, like upper state, and there was like a council lorry, right, with a snowplow at the front, with the engine running, parked outside this building where it clearly said no parking at any time.
Right.
So this guy's pulled out and he's like, this goddamn, he's like, the state and all that, and they're like, they're telling us we can't do one thing, yet the guy's left his van with the motor running. Someone could steal that van with a massive snowplow on the front, especially with all the madness going on in the world today. Somebody could just jump in that van and grab it. So this guy's filming, trying to out them, and then the worker comes out of the building. He's like, why have you got this motor running that? And the guy's just like, no saying it, and he just jumps in the van and drives bolts. But it's just like the fact that guy's got the power to put that out to the world now. Do you know what I mean? So I think customer service and all these things should need to be ultimate now, because you're getting found out easily. If you don't, you get a bad TripAdvisor review.
Put it this way, I was just about to say, it's reviews. When we've got, over 100 5-star reviews on our Facebook.
5-star.
And that's something to be seriously proud of for any business, right? It's not 4, it's 5, and we're very, very proud of that, because you've got to put so much into it.
Yes.
Or you will be exposed. TripAdvisor or
Facebook reviews in general.
Everything's just blown away. And even when I got that bad service, you're so tempted just to go in and drill them on a review.
Right. Here's a good example. Remember, you had a Twitter post that went viral. And it was the bank machine.
Yeah.
And it basically, there was a bank machine that charged people like £2 to withdraw money. And being Glasgow, someone had drawn arrows and a small map on the machine saying there is a machine round the corner that doesn't charge you. You posted that picture and it got thousands and thousands of retweets, right? So straight away, whoever's put that cash machine there or that is going to lose out so much business, because one guy had the power to put it out there.
Expose it.
And about 10,000 people have seen that are now no longer going to use that cash machine. This was years ago, right? So there's one example of a small change that you've had through one post.
Which I guess it's that transparency that's making the world a better place as well.
Yes.
Because restaurants have upped their game, pubs have upped their game, businesses in general have upped their game because of the reviews, but it's also given a voice to the everyday person.
Or the negative people as well.
The everyday person who really is just spouting a lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they can potentially bring businesses down.
Yes.
By, you know, being poisonous and all that. So again...
Even the review. Yes.
With the Vice thing,
yes.
the guy that got the restaurant #1.
Yeah. So there's a lot of fakery out there.
For anyone who's interested in what we're chatting about here,
Thank you, Jack.
It's Vice done it's absolutely great, actually, really interesting. There's a guy that created a fake restaurant. What was it called again? The Shed at Dulwich. And it was all made up. It was in his back garden, and but it got so many reviews on it, and it started to kind of gain so much traction that people started phoning up and booking. And because no one could get a booking because it didn't actually exist, the Shed at Dulwich started firing up the TripAdvisor ratings, and it got to #1 restaurant in London. So sorry for spoiling it if you're about to go and watch it, but go and watch it. It's a great watch. It's almost a real eye opener.
But a fakery
in terms of perception.
Yes.
You know, and everything's perception with the internet these days. So that's a great thing just for the chat in general. What we are talking about, it's all about how you perceive yourself. It's all about how you put your business across.
Mm-hmm.
And Facebook, no matter what, is going to try their best to get as much money out of you. But if you're original and you do something a bit different, then you should be okay.
Well, ultimately, content's king, isn't it? So whatever your content is, if it's valuable, if it's funny, if it's insightful in some sort of way, then you're going to get more eyes on it, you know?
Absolutely. So, I mean, what we've got to shout about here? So, Facebook world, YouTube world, and Instagram world, we are going on every single one of them. We have a big
got a couple of things to shout about for the end
that we want to plug here.
Oh.
I'll start with this one. So, Soma School Positive Education is back after 7 years.
Wow.
The guys at Soma Records put on a mighty fine educational event, and it's the first time in 7 years they've done it. We got a call if we wanted to partner up with them, and of course we said yes. Soma Records are one of the biggest and greatest techno labels there is
in the world.
You know, Slam. You know, everyone knows Slam.
The Slam tent.
So we are very, very happy to be partnering up with them for a full day of education. So throughout the day, I'll give you some information on this. Ages 16 plus. Everyone is, of course, is welcome. It's going to be in SWG 3 warehouse in Glasgow from 12 till 4:30 p.m. So come along to that. Slam will be there. Regis and Surgeons, is that right? Regis, how would you say that?
I'm going to say Regis, or AKA the British Murder Boys.
I Hate Models, Solid Blake. You want to do a couple of these, gal?
Yes, so we also have Anti-Flow. We've got Johnny Wilkes, Happy Meals, and Stephanie Sykes. Oh, the flyers on the screen, so you should have a wee look at that. There's going to be free goodie bags, internships potentially, career advice, DJ courses, Ableton courses, industry panels.
So if you're interested in anything that we do or getting yourself into DJ and music production, it's a great day to come along. Drop your name to us, see what courses we're running.
Yes.
All of that kind of stuff we'll be doing.
Meet all the team.
It is an association with Mixmag, Ableton, Be At TV, Saffron Records, The Skinny, Lucky Me, as well as SKapade and Show Studios. We'll be there doing demos and DJing lessons and all that kind of fun stuff.
Massive opportunity if you're looking to get involved in the creative industries and learn more. Basically, a 4.5 hour extended gala and woo for that day. But loads of other people, people at Ableton are going to be there doing live demos. I mean, you can't get much cooler than that. So, and we're going to be doing DJ demos. So if you're coming and you're 16 plus and you want a little shot on working on industry standard equipment, or you want to just learn some techniques from guys who've played in like Amnesia and all that kind of Amnesia, so come along. We've also got Ashley Smith, who's going to be doing some work with us as well, she's smashing it in the charts at the moment, which now leads me on to Mr. Kirkwood here on my left. On your right is Hooligan, his track Hooligan, which is just out.
He is Hooligan.
He is Hooligan.
You're about to say that.
He is a hooligan. He is. If you've seen now, that's one thing I want to talk about. If you've seen the promo campaign,
stick them up
for Hooligan, they are hilarious. We put a lot of time and effort into them. Now, I'm saying they're hilarious through my own opinion, right? They're absolutely fried mental comedy, but it's stuff that we like talking about. We laugh. We want to do something a bit different. And Stephen is now in at number 14, and the track was only out last Friday there. It's Thursday now.
So
it's doing well. It's doing well, mate. I can see it's up 10. I
That's
can
it.
see it. It's
So,
coming.
whoever watches this,
Please buy it, please.
head along, check it out. I'm
Head to the
obviously
shop.
grateful. The track, I'm pretty proud of the track. It's like a hybrid of techno, banging, sort of DXJ vibes with a kind of creepy melody in there. It's quite rich, quite different to anything that's out there, but that's why I'm doing it.
Yes, trying to trailblaze.
Check it out, Hooligan. It is out just now. Thanks to everyone who's already got behind it.
Future Sound Egypt as well. They're legends.
Mm-hmm.
They shared the ridiculous video you done.
Yeah.
Where Craig took a big tumble in the snow. He genuinely hurt his arm, which is
felt
quite funny.
I did.
I didn't.
I did. But Jack as well. Big shout to Jack for doing the editing on those. Quite hilarious. Hilarious. So, couple of shouts on Instagram here. Rayside saying hello.
Andy boy.
Do you offer tuition and mastering services? Of course we do. Please send me a message.
You certainly do. info@SKapadeStudios.com, or just drop us a message on
or,
the Facebook page.
Or just send me a message on Instagram and
Yes,
I'll
do that.
direct you to this maniac.
Hi. Hope you're ready. Hope you're ready.
I'm honestly, look, everyone's enjoying the advice. That's good. I'm happy with that.
Thank you so much.
So YouTube world, where we're live, we're recording this as well. We're going to put it out Galamoo. What number is this, Galamoo?
9.
9.
Can we let them hear a wee clip, Hooligan? We can do that now. Come on, it's the radio. We should do this. Our background's in radio, right? We're going to let you hear Hooligan a wee bit if we can manage all this. And you'll get a wee flavour of it. Look, it was only out on Friday there. It's already at number 14. It jumped over 50 places from the weekend. That's absolutely massive. Hooligan, go and support it. Future Sound Egypt, great label. Great guy, man. Let's try and get a top 5 trips.
Great guy, man.
Aye. The Hooligan, isn't it, though? Stop the madness by buying the track. That's the only way you're going to stop the Hooligan.
That's my fault, actually.
He's out smashing windows, causing havoc. There he is.
I'll skip it on a little bit
Please do.
so we don't get smashed with copyright and all
Because
that.
we don't have attention span anymore as social
I don't even
media
want to listen to
generation.
it. It's just a minute I need.
Millennials. Millennials.
Only kidding on. Stick it on. Build up.
Here we go. You can't hear this.
So we go. Hooligan. It is out now. Future Sound of Egypt. Jack's killing himself laughing.
Hooligan!
This is sounding wildly good. I'm buzzing.
Stop the Hooligan
Stop the Hooligan.
by buying the track.
Stop the Hooligan. So that's that. We've done some plug-in. We've hopefully gave some advice. We've
Enjoyed the new table
what's
setup.
the thing you're discussing? So what's that word?
I don't know.
You shoot the.
Shoot the shit.
That's it. But there's another one.
We're shooting the
I don't know.
barrel.
We've done a lot of that. So pretty happy. Hope you enjoy the new setup.
Yeah.
Feel like we're back on the radio.
Oh,
It's
it feels
great.
good, man.
So if you guys are enjoying it, I'm buzzing. But to be honest, we're really enjoying it.
We're really enjoying it. I think that's what matters. And it's the
That's
same
what
with your
matters.
music. You should only make it if you enjoy it, Trips.
That is absolutely it. So that has been Gallon Way in the Stew.
Yeah.
Number 9. Thanks to Instagram, YouTube.
Remember, subscribe, and if you
And
want
we'll
to
get it
keep
on
up to
Facebook.
date with all news, check the Facebook page. We do all sorts of articles,
Yeah.
stuff. Check the website out. Loads of cool stuff. We love you.
Of course.
We love doing this
Of
content.
course. And
Thank
honestly,
you.
subscribe to the channel. Spread the word. Spread the world.
Do both.
Spread the word.
Do both.
We do appreciate it. From everyone here at SKapade Studios in Dumbarton, Scotland. Goodbye.